Hello.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody. Hello, hello. Oh, Pat, Haziel, Kai, Juan, what's up, everybody? Pat says if the Grace DC isn't mentioned, I'll flip every table in my vicinity. Shout out to Pat.
Yes.
Longtime friend of Mr. Joe Balaguer. Relatively recent friend of mine, but a really good dude. Thanks for dropping in, Pat.
Grace DC.
Haziel, what's up? What's up with
Haziel?
you, dog? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Kai, ayo. Good. Always happy to have you join, dog.
Yo.
By the way, just early shout out to Kai, who put out a bitchin' video
Yes.
with the new Mitch 6. Check that out on his YouTube channel.
Please do.
Juan says, sup, my dudes?
What's up, Juan?
My dude? Dave, happy Friday. Mario, happy Friday, boys. Good to see you.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday.
Good to see everybody. This is sick. So, jumping. Oh, hey, look, my computer volume's not off. That sucks because I can hear myself echoing.
Oh.
Got him.
Echo.
So, today, all sorts of cool things to talk about.
Yes.
Some more basic, some more recent. Those astute among you, the eagle-eyed viewer, may notice that I'm not alone this week. Mr. Joseph Balaguer, the man, the myth, the legend, is here with me. So
yes, happy to be back. And yeah, got a lot of cool stuff to talk about today. We have some extended range Johns and some other cool stuff to chat about.
Yeah. So anyone who has seen the Facebook discussion group post, the post in the BG will know that we are talking about models today. So we'll get more into that in a bit. We're going to talk about a bunch of the Balaguer models. We're going to try not to miss any of them because we an hour is not a lot of time to talk about everything, but we're going to do what we can, and it will be largely steered by you. So when we get into that, be prepared to talk about the models, your opinions, pros, cons.
It's true.
You know,
it's going to be a chat.
All of those things. Yeah, this is going to be one of the chats.
That's right.
So we'll get into that in a second. We're also going to talk about something that just dropped today, the Labor Day sale. We're going to talk a bit about DS7, the new Devin Scheidecker model, as well as some of the in-stock stuff that you may or may not have seen because we just posted it today.
Yes.
So we'll get to all of that. Catching up on a little bit. Got a build update today, so I'm the happiest dude right now. Yeah, dude, I sent that to you. Shout out.
That's right. Shout out to Jake.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but shout out to Haziel because that build's going to be sick. Our main village man, Haziel, knows how to spec a wild select custom. He's already got, if you haven't seen, an absolutely monstrous growler. So
that's right.
Stoked for you, dude. I've been hoping to send it to you, so glad it got out. Brandon, can I have that ambient spot next to you, Joe?
Get in line.
Yeah, there you go. I was just going to say no. At least he put a little attitude into it. No, good to see you, dude. Thanks for dropping in.
Yeah, dude.
HKM. Hello. I bought a Balaguer guitar in Japan, and I play it with great care. Thank you for the wonderful instruments. Sorry for the translated message. No apologies necessary. Thank you very much. we're very lucky to be partnered with Kanda Shokai in Japan.
Yeah.
And they're awesome. We love seeing our guitars in Japan. We have a couple of things that we can't quite talk about going on with some Japanese artists, which will be very cool. So keep a lookout for that.
Yes.
But thank you so much. Seriously, that's the type of message we love to see.
Very cool.
Pat says it's sick. Thank you. Yo, happy Friday. Kai, you are right. Hell yeah, Growler Gang. Party time. So jumping into some of the things.
Yes.
Number one, I think, is the Labor Day sale.
That's right. 10% off site-wide. The coupon code, I believe, is GET10 off. So GET, the number 10, 10.
And the number 10.
Yes. And then off. So there you go.
GET 10 off. If
Hey,
you can't spell off, you don't deserve the discount.
Just saying.
OFF.
Yeah.
You can look it up on all of our social media. If you get to the website, you're trying to check out and it's like, oops, your code's wrong.
Yeah.
You can go to our Instagram or our Facebook. We've posted about it. You can copy paste it. You can do whatever you need to do. 10% off everything. So anything that's in stock, or if you put in a new order for a select custom, that's all included. Speaking of in stocks and things that are included on within the Labor Day sale are pre-orders. So right now, the Primo pre-order, both literally and metaphorically, is Devin Scheidegger's new signature DS7.
That's right.
The Diablo. It's a 7-string Diablo. It's tricked out. It's got a natural back and sides with a super awesome flame maple top. That is a top, not a veneer. It's a beastly carved top flame in his recently signaturized color of Duskwalker Burst. It's beautiful. It's got an HS setup all on the website in the pre-order section. So don't let me bore you, but it is sick. It has his cauterizer pickup, his cauterizer humbucker in the bridge, as well as a cauterizer single coil in the neck, which is something we've not done before. You can only get it on that model. Pale Moon Ebony fingerboard, 5-piece roasted flame maple neck.
It's tricked out.
Oil
Hip
and
shot
wax
tuners.
finish, hip shot tuners, hip shot Ibby bridge.
Yep.
Yeah, absolute beast of a guitar. Check that out, especially because you can get 10% off, dog.
You only have to put down a deposit if you don't want to pay in full.
Yep. And you'll get 10% off your deposit. So that's sick. Other things that we have in stock that you might have seen us post about today, we added 2 select customs to the store today. One is a Druid in a very uncommon but very sick spectral finish.
Yes.
Which is cool. It's
Ghost Burst.
Ghost Burst. It's like a vintage white with a black burst edge. It's super cool.
Yep.
A lot of people have asked about Druids. This one's, single bridge humbucker, which is a Hypernova in a custom chrome foil cover. So it's not something that you'll find on any of our other guitars, which is pretty rad. Evertune bridge, baritone scale. Super cool.
Yep.
We also threw an Astra DC on the site that some of you will probably recognize.
Yep.
Tier. But it is a sick Astra DC that I spec'd out a long time ago that is just lovingly decked out with, mahogany body, solid maple carved top, all the binding. So triple cream neck, triple cream headstock, cream neck, triple cream body. Tune-o-matic, Tone Pros Tune-o-matic bridge. It's sick. Mother of pearl inlays and a rosewood fingerboard.
It's a ripper.
Set neck.
And Jake will sign the back of it for you.
I'll be happy to. I'll sign it in blood if you want me to.
That's right.
No, I won't.
Just hold them upside down and
exactly.
drip it all over.
Yeah. No, I'll just. It's called bloodletting. It's the ancient art of how to sign things.
I was gonna say sanguine, or what is it called? The long term. What is it? Sanguine.
Yeah, sanguine is the word for blood.
No, I know, but there's like a specific term. It's like a long.
For bloodletting?
Yes.
Oh.
But I can't remember what it is now.
Well, you're not nearly as gothic as I thought.
Someone posted in the comments, please.
Yeah,
it sounds way cooler than bloodletting.
I don't know. Bloodletting sounds pretty rad.
I mean, it does sound rad for sure because blood's in the word, the phrase. But yeah.
Yes, because
someone posted in the comments.
We should
help me out here.
We should have a shirt that's like a death metal Balaguer shirt font, but it's like Balaguer bloodletting. Be sick.
Just as Jake upside down, just getting
it's me on an upside down cross, but like bloodletting
by the monster back there.
Sanguimency is what they really. I had no idea. That's sick. Seriously,
there's probably a metal band called that out.
There has to be. If there isn't, it's trademarked. Don't do it. It's ours now. No, seriously, Balaguer in metal font, death metal font, and then just sanguinancy underneath
like it.
That's a sick word. Damn.
That's what I'm saying.
How did I not know that was?
I'm
that was
saying we're starting that band right now. So whoever wants to join.
Yeah, seriously. Rad.
That's right.
I suck at playing 7-string, sorry. Even though I love it. Okay, questions. Sorry, we're getting excited because we're on to bloodletting and it's tapping into some primal instinct.
Yeah.
Kai says, does this sale apply to pickups? I have some friends looking for some single coil sets now. I bet you do after you put that rad ass set in your synthwave Espada, which was some of the best. So I'm partial to the Austral bridge pickup. And man, those tones were ripping. But yes, it does apply to pickups. So if anything on the website, if you were to like custom checkout in the pickup section, you can apply your code there as well.
We got a few pickup orders after that video came out. Just saying.
We actually did. We got like
three or four came in like right away.
Yeah, so that was
Kai,
sick. As always, Kai, we greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So yeah, that was super sick. And yes, you can also tell them to email us. I mean, you know how to reach out to us. If you want to put them in touch, if they have custom requests or anything, we'll get them taken care of.
Yeah, 10% off everything, including pickups.
Brandon says, Druid is sick, but the thin D neck intimidates me. Don't be intimidated.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely different than what, most people are used to with, C-shaped necks. But the thin D we actually revised recently. So if you order a select custom, I would say within the last month, the thin D is a bit more rounded at the shoulders and not as pronounced.
Yeah.
So every thin D before a month or so ago will have the original thin D, but we have revised it to be a bit more.
And Kai asks a good question:
fluid.
Is the Druid the new D or the old D? It's the old D.
Correct. Yeah, the one in stock. It's the old D-shaped neck. Yep.
Man, sanguinancy. Seriously, I'm like
that's what I'm saying.
Hung up on
it. Was I don't know where I even heard that. Maybe it was in a game or something.
I don't know. Juan says Jake 666. Hell yeah, bro. Exsanguination. Man, wild.
Yeah.
Sanguisagabog. Haziel says that.
Oh yeah.
That I guess that's where they got the first half of that word.
Probably.
Okay, that's cool.
That
Good
is
show.
Real sweet.
Halloween limited shirt. Kai says.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in. Totally in.
Anything Halloween related, we're in.
Yes, that is accurate. Bog mentioned, yes. Blood for the blood god. Hell yeah. I worship the blood god.
Yeah. So besides the select customs that are in stock, we also have a bunch of Espada Limiteds.
Yes.
That are available to ship immediately. They're already QC'd and ready to go. Some of them have some killer flame to the necks as well. What else do we have on there? We have
those.
Some thickets.
We have these. We have some thicket SSs. If you want to hear the Austral pickups, which Kai has in the bridge position of the Synthwave Espada video that Kai did, that's a humbucker sized version of our Austral bridge pickup, which is our T-style bridge pickup. We do have a couple of thicket SSs that have the true single coil size versions of those. They're super sick.
We also have our own pickup demos where we did one with the Australs.
We do have Austral demos on the YouTube channel, so there is an Austral demo there if you want to hear it. I mean, I'm super proud of the demos we did. If you want to hear it in different contexts, check out Kai's.
Yeah, for sure.
You used the Laney for that, right, Kai? Was that the Laney that you played for that demo? Let me know, because it sounded sick. I thought I remember you saying it early on, the Ironheart, right? But damn, Kai says, seriously, Sanguinancy is not taken. He says he can't find it online.
Uh-oh.
Seriously.
All right.
Don't steal the name.
All right.
We're
we're writing a black metal song right now.
Oh no, let's do it. Okay.
All right.
Put this on pause. When you guys added the asteroid, push the thickets off the page so they're no longer on the in-stock page. Oh, good shout out. We'll have to take a look at that. All right, black metal my ass.
We got there eventually.
Yeah, we'll find it. We'll find it. Oh yeah, Pat says all your blood are belong to us.
Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
Dylan, yo, what's up?
Hey, what's
Thanks
up,
for
Dylan?
dropping in, dog. We're at Sanguimancy's first jam session right now.
That's right.
Dude, that's such a sick name. Seriously, though. Oh, I'm glad that we collectively found that name. I used to listen to them when they live streamed for a guitar brand.
That's right.
You were there at the very beginning, before it was cool.
Love it.
So yeah, check out all that in stock stuff. It rips.
Yes.
Everything. Like I said, we have a handful of select customs, handful of Espada limiteds, handful of Espada ambients, which is cool. I'm happy to say we tend to sell out of stuff really quickly when we get it. So it's nice that there's some in stock stuff that you can snag for a good deal. So check it out.
For sure.
Other things, and when I say other things, I mean the main thing. Maybe that's a fair transition as we're talking about different models that are available or not available.
Yeah.
Is models. We get a lot of questions about our models. Where they come from, where are they going, in some cases. What the inspiration is, what we like about them, what we don't, what the difference is between other models. So we're going to hit the high points. We're also going to talk a bit about which models we prefer, what we like, what we don't like. There was a post made in our Facebook discussion group earlier by the internet, which was kind of weird.
Yeah. Beep, boop, beep, boop.
Yeah, we're not going to let that happen again because that was weird. But we read through everything, sort of looked at what people were saying. So we do have some of those internalized. We'll talk a bit about sort of what we read. But of course, please let us know what you think.
Yeah.
We're going to sort of go through each model. In fact, I think I'm even going to reference some notes here a little bit to make sure that I don't forget anything. And we'll see what's up. Maybe we'll do something sort of chronologically, sort of alphabetically. So when I think of...
Chronologically or alphabetically?
I said sort of chronologically, sort of alphabetically. I may hop around a little bit.
Okay.
Because while I don't have a photographic memory, I sort of like see the builder page when I see the models, which is alphabetically.
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm playing, let's say, a very new model.
Yeah.
You're playing a nearly as new model, but we're also going to play some older models.
Yeah.
Because we are going to swap out for some stuff that you may or may not see, including the one that was referenced on Joe's rate.
For sure.
But to start off, you're playing a Diablo, I'm playing a Seraph. These are our two newest models.
Yep.
I think people have heard me talk about the Seraph before, and I'm going to talk about it some more so that everyone knows how I feel about it. But let's talk about the Diablo first.
Sure.
Because A, this is new,
yep.
Meaning this is the new Select Series Diablo 7 Baritone.
Yep.
And B, it's a good opportunity. It's a primo spec. It's really solid. I feel like we haven't highlighted the Diablo in a minute. So why don't you talk about Master Builder Joe Balaguer? Why don't you talk a little bit about the Diablo, what it means to you, like in terms of the design, what you were maybe going for a little bit, what you like about it, and we'll see if anybody else has any comments on the Diablo.
Yeah, well, I mean, to back up a little bit, for those of you who don't know, we have over 10 or 11 different body shapes at this point in the guitar section of what we do. We also build basses, but guitars specifically, we have over 10 or 11 body shapes. Those are not always available from a production guitar standpoint, but they mostly are always available via our Select Custom series, via our online configurator on our website. So
BalaguerGuitars.com.
Yeah, so the Diablo was kind of the evolution of looking at one of the oldest Superstrat designs I came up with called the Archetype, which is similar to the Diablo in a sense that it has pointed horns and it's a double cutaway guitar, but that's kind of where it ends. And the body shape of that guitar is slightly larger than the Diablo and it's more offset, where this is way more symmetrical from a standpoint of how these lower bouts meet each other at the bottom strap pin, where it's not really an offset guitar in the traditional sense. And that's kind of where the design philosophy of wanting to design something that was able to fit into, I guess, like the catalog of what we do, but isn't too far of a departure of what we've already done. So like the Archetype, when you put that side by side with a Diablo, you'll be able to see the similarities, but really the similarities stop at what I just explained, which is the pointed horns and the fact that there's a double cutaway at the neck joint. Other than that, the silhouette's different, the bevel is different. The Diablo itself comes in 2 different variations as far as how the top is carved. So this is a full carved top. And you can kind of see it in the reflection of the lights in the camera. But it also comes in a bevel top. So the portion of this guitar down here is flat. It's flat here, and then it just has a smaller bevel right here for your arm. The Archetype just has a bevel. It's not available in a carved top. And the Diablo really was just, you know, the culmination of one wanting to do something a bit more modern than the Archetype, and people wanting something that was a bit more modern and smaller in size than the Archetype, because the Archetype's a larger guitar.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the Diablo came about. And obviously, you know, the name is reminiscent of, you know, heavier styles of music and more modern, you know, stylings. So
you might say it's from down south.
Yes,
way down
south. But yeah, and then, you know, pairing it with the Extreme headstock. This is the Extreme 4x3, but that's another thing to mention. I know we're talking about just body shapes today, but we also have like over a handful of different headstock shapes to choose from.
Over a handful.
Both side by side as well as inline and reverse, non-reverse, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's thousands of combinations you could put together on the website to really design your own guitar.
I like the idea of sort of bouncing the Diablo against the Archetype, just because of the sort of influence that one had on the other. I think that's, for people who ask, that's a common way that we describe to them what the difference is, because we'll tell them the Archetype is a slightly more traditional offset, where it's a larger offset, larger body. The Diablo is more of the compact, slightly less offset, a little more subtle. I mean, Dave even says it's a subtle offset and is a little smaller, which I really like. And I think that's what a lot of people gravitate toward with the Diablo, is if they want something that's modern and aggressive, or modern and not so aggressive if they spec it differently, but want that sort of in between. It's not a Toro, which is a more symmetrical, more
S-style guitar.
S-style, traditionally shaped S-style guitar. And it's not an Archetype, which is a larger, more offset double cut style guitar. It sort of really plugs the gap in the middle.
But it's still, I mean, the Diablo still has enough mass in the body itself to where, like, I can let go here and it completely balances just fine on my leg.
Yeah, it's not like
it doesn't want to dive, even though this is a baritone 7-string. And it's just because of, you know, the amount of mass that's behind the bridge is still considerable.
Yeah.
It's just not as long and offset as the Archetype. And I would say, if you look at an Archetype that someone specs out that has like a pickguard and maybe an SSH or an SSS style pickup configuration, it does look more like a classic S-style guitar, just because of the nature of the horns and how it's kind of designed with the perimeter and the silhouette. Where the Diablo, if you throw a pickguard on this, it still looks modern and shreddy, and that's kind of what we wanted to go for, because this is also still available with a pickguard.
Yes. Yes. In the bevel and flat top.
Yeah. If you do the flat top or the bevel. So.
And you've owned an Archetype, or sorry, a Diablo. So have I.
Yeah, I've owned both, but yeah.
And that's true, because you had the silver Archetype, right?
Yeah.
And then we both owned the Diablo, and I know for me at least, I feel like it's a balance of, like, the upper fret access is insane, right? Because it's got the lower horn carve, which you'll see on a lot of guitars, including the Seraph that we do, having that the cutaway here and also on the back here,
right?
So that when you're reaching up here, there is nothing in the way, and that I think lends to just a comfortability when you're playing.
Yep.
That I know I really appreciate. It was one of my favorite things about my Diablo, was that I never felt like there was anything in the way. which I really like. And I also, even though it's modern, it's not unfamiliarly modern. It's like a very comfortable shape. When you play the Diablo, it doesn't feel like you're, playing a spaceship or something.
Yeah, the contours are all still very, familiar.
Right.
Like they don't feel like they're going to be cutting into your forearm, or that they're drastic or angled in a way that kind of is at the detriment of the design or anything. It's definitely, ergonomic and comfortable. But
Dylan says, are any of those Diablos heading to dealers? I see they were sold out on the website. They are indeed sold out on the website, and there are indeed some going to dealers. If you're in the States, check out Drop D Guitars. They'll be having some. If you're in Canada, you can check out Guitar Brando. And then elsewhere, yet to be determined. But I can promise you that at least if you're in the States, check out Drop D. They will have
down in Tennessee.
Yeah, Drop D down in Tennessee. And I think that's a good sort of, I like this idea of grouping them where like there's the archetype, which to me, when I first found Balaguer long before we were friends and later coworkers, is the archetype was the only sort of double cut, super strat, whatever you want to call it, shape. Right. And I grew attached to it in a way that I think it has, especially some of them that had like flame tops with pick guards or different cuts that to me made it look very different. Like it made a statement when you saw it.
Sure.
And I think that's what I still love about the archetype is it's especially now that there's a Toro and a Diablo, no one builds an archetype by accident. And I like that. I feel like people who build archetypes, it's like they lean into it in a way that every time they come in, I'm like, damn, that's sick.
For sure. Yeah, no, I think over the years, looking back and seeing how certain models have led way to newer models, I mean, I think some of that was purposeful, and I think other times it was just kind of like, pulling inspiration from the stuff we've already done. Like the Seraph is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Looking at the thicket and seeing, all of this demand for like the thicket having a deeper cutaway and it having a bit more of a bevel design and a more modern, sleek look. I mean, that's really how the Seraph came to be.
Right. So, which is, I think, a good transition because I've had a couple of people both in the Facebook group and here have said that, oh, if I wasn't playing X, I would play X. Meaning they have like, let's say a top 2 or a top 3, but I've seen the Seraph come up a lot. It is our most recent model, and it has become a very, very popular option, I'm happy to say. I'm playing the USA series. We actually have, I think, 3 of these in stock in different colors and different string counts.
Yep.
None of these, the 7-string whites, but the jewel white finish is super sick. This is mine. It's one of my favorites, and it is very cool. But the Seraph itself, I think, for me, is because that's a good transition, and I like that people are bringing it up because it is modern without being like insanely modern. And what I think I like most about it is that it feels more modern than it looks. So it definitely looks modern, but similar to the Diablo, the offset is not gigantic. It's not a sharp offset. It's not huge. It's still a single cut, which is a personal favorite thing of mine. And even though it's a single cut, it still has that insane access. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds to me. I also really like how, similar to the Diablo, the body feels very compact, like it rests against you in a very tight way. I also really like that, not just the balance, but the way, and this is similar to what I was saying about the Diablo earlier with the access, is because of the way these 2 models, I think, kind of bounce off of each other, where the neck is set, like the actual heel and the neck itself are further into the body enough where you might not even know it, but it makes the whole guitar feel like instead of it being out here, it's out here.
It's closer to you.
Yeah, or in here. Yep. Where this is a 27-inch 7-string, and I have 25.5-inch guitars that don't feel like they're this close when I'm playing low.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's because of the way that it's set in. And I like that. I think there's like you were saying about the extreme headstock, sort of just bringing everything this way a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like the Seraph as a model really leans into that, which is probably my favorite thing about it, because when I play it, it just feels very close. I don't feel like I'm reaching for anything.
Yeah, I think the way that the neck is set into the neck joint in the pocket, the size of the body has a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
And the amount of space between the end pin here and the back of the bridge. You look at some other guitars and there's way more room, which makes everything feel much larger on your lap, and makes the neck feel further out. And yeah, it's definitely on purpose, and it's cool that you notice that, because it's especially when we build so many guitars that have extended range.
Yeah.
Built in, like 27-inch or 28.5 or even 30-inch scale guitars. Depending on the body shape the person chooses, the guitar can feel much longer, or it could feel much more in a typical guitar wheelhouse than more of a in-between guitar bass type of instrument.
Yo, John Vocal in the chat.
Yo, what's
Shout
up,
out
dude?
to our boy John, a now married man who's living his best life down
Congrats,
in Tejas.
brother.
Yeah. Talking to John earlier today. Good to hear from you, dude. Haziel says, ever since Jake told me at NAMM that the Seraph suits me, I've been wanting one. Well, it does suit you. I do feel like, I don't know, there's a certain, it's like anything else. Things become associated with people just because of, it could be a first impression, but it's also that there's just something subconsciously that I think certain guitars just fit certain people better. Yeah. And I remember that. I remember you holding the USA, and I remember being like, damn, that looks good on him. And that's a cool thing. I think it's why I personally gravitate towards single cut guitars, because there's just something about them that I think, like, both mentally, emotionally, or I should say all in mentally, emotionally, and just like physically, there's something about the way that they sit and feel that makes me feel comfortable.
Sure.
Probably because I played single cut guitars most of my life.
Right.
But I like that, and I think it's rad. I think there's a, in comparison to, say, like the Thicket. Mm-hmm. So the Thicket being the original offset T style that you designed back in the day, which, spoiler alert, I have a select custom Thicket on the way. Right. Because I could never stop thinking about Travis Miguel's, because every time I played him, I was like, there's something about a neck through Thicket that just feels like magic.
Yep.
And the Seraph has that same, if anything, even more of that feel of like the access and the out of your wayness of the guitar. But I tend to lean a little more classically in my style, so I'm stoked to check that out. But the Thicket, having more of that, like less of a rounded edge, more of that, like, I would say similar to how the Archetype is a more offset guitar than the Diablo. I feel like the Thicket is a more offset guitar than the Seraph. Yeah. Where it has that sharper offset, a little more classic looking, I think. And with the rounded edges and without the bevel, it has more of that sort of, I don't want to say softer look, but like a more, I don't know. I don't want to say edgeless either. I don't know what to say about it. It's just it just looks nice. Like, it's got a rounded edges, and it sits in a way that, to me,
it's more traditional.
Yeah, it's just, it is slightly more traditional, which I like. And the Thicket to me was the first of the sort of offset models that I fell in love with, where I think, my first Balaguer was a Woodman, which is a more symmetrical shape, or asymmetrical shape.
Yep.
And then when I started playing the offsets is when I really started falling in love with them. And I think the Thicket was the first one that really got my attention. And then it was the Espada, which I think, there's a bit of an inside joke that all roads lead to the Espada, right? I mean, it's that at some point the Espada will be your favorite model. It is unavoidable. It might be for one day, but everyone sort of gets to that point, and it's why, I mean, it is our like declared flagship model, but it really does just kind of naturally happen that way. So I think we should take this opportunity to change guitars.
Let's do it.
I'm going to put my tuner on so that I don't pop in anyone's ears.
Same.
This other band name pop in the ear. Yes, all these guitar swaps. Last live stream, I swapped guitars 4 times. This time we're doing it too. So Espadas. John says, "Thal, hell yeah." Seraph is a gorgeous model. Love plugging the USA's at NAMM. Thanks, dude. And yes, we do already know your favorite BG model. On that note, Blank Slate album guitars finished Wednesday. Spoiler alert. Heavy.
Nice.
Sick, dude. Seriously, can't wait. John, an artist of ours, is in a band, Blank Slate, and it is a very dynamic band, which I think is why I know it's why I like them so much. It's that balance of like crazy heavy with a lot of ambient and cleaner vocals as well. It's really nice.
Very melodic.
Yeah, very melodic. Highly recommend checking them out. Shout out to John for being a real one, aside from the music too. So stoked to hear that, dude. Juan says Jake likes that plank with strings feel. Yeah, you're right. De Vega got me specking out a Seraph while I work. That's the move.
Nice.
Yes, that's what we like to hear. Glenn, what is the nut width for your guitars? On a 6-string, 1 11/16.
Yes.
Which is, if you like for comparison, a typical like Gibson or Fender nut width is not that wide. An ESP might be 1 11/16. Just a slightly wider, slightly flatter feel.
Yep.
And then, of course, it goes up as you go to 7s and 8s, and the multi-scale is angled.
Yep.
John Vocal says the builder calls at all times. Yeah, that's another inside joke, is that even though we work here and we build these things, and you kind of just, gear nerds are going to gear nerd. There's no way around that. Kai says, and this is another good transition, Espada is the best looking, but Growler edges it out on comfort. So... Okay. That's a great take. Also, John says, Jake, you growing out the flow, my dude? Hell yeah, baby.
Growing out the flow.
I am. I'm letting it roll. Don't make me like give it the Pantene Pro V treatment. Yes, building a Espada. Do it, Pat. That's a good one. Yes. I think that's a comment that we hear a lot, right? Is that the Growler? So the Growler, right? Talk about the Growler, Joe. Talk about its origin, sort of what it is, and then maybe how the Espada relates to it.
Yeah, I mean, the Growler was the first body shape that we released that was offset. When we first started, the now Woodman body shape back then used to be called the Thicket, BB for Bo Burchell, because the first guitar we ever made, I made in California, it was a one-off guitar for Bo, he says, back in 2014, before we really even started the company officially. And then the guitar after that we released, besides the Toro, was the Growler, which is our take on a Jazzmaster Jaguar style guitar, with just slightly different contours, different silhouette, a deep belly cut, a bolt pattern, neck joint instead of a block pattern. I should say a contoured bolt pattern, not a block pattern. And yeah, just a more modernized, J style guitar. And that was 2015. And then 2017, the Espada came about really as a fusion of a guitar that we did for a guitar forum back then it was called GAB, G-A-B, Guitar Amp Board forum, and we did a bunch of different collaborative designs. Someone came up with something called the SD, and the Espada came as kind of like an inspiration from like if the Growler fused with the SD that we did for that forum. The Espada was the product of that, and it really came from collaborative design from those guys on the forum, and me just kind of going back to the drawing board being like, what if I did something a bit more compact, similar to the Growler, more modern, has the spoon cut, instead of a traditional forearm contour, like a Fender style forearm contour. And that's how it came about. It was really just, getting inspired, seeing other people, want something different. And that's kind of always been my design philosophy when I'm pulling inspiration from guitars that I grew up playing or guitars that, we like out there in the wild. Doing our own spin on things, or even coming up with a brand new original body shape. Inspiration gets pulled from all different directions. So that's kind of where the Espada came about. It was just hearing people be like, oh, I would love the Growler if it had this, or if it was smaller, or if, you know,
Yep.
it was a bit more, you know, modernized or whatever. So yeah, it's, you know, the Growler has its place. We still offer it. It's a classic shape. It's still one of our most popular models. And it definitely is comfortable because it's obviously a tried and true body shape, you know, to not really skirt around it. Like, there's a reason why that became such an iconic shape back in the 50s. It is super comfortable. It's super ergonomic. Sits on you really well when you're sitting down playing. And yeah, the Growler is just an extension of taking that shape, making it a bit more modern, making it even more comfortable with having a carved heel, and having the contours be a little different, a little more suited to comfort. So yeah, that's kind of how it got to where it is now.
I know for me, I think the Espada was when I made like the full transition into, all right, I can do the offset guitar thing, and it's special as a model to me beyond that, because that was when we met, was when you released the Espada, because I flew up to PA with my boy Stefan, shout out Stefan Hawkins. Flew up here for Gear Fest. And
back at the shop 2 shops ago.
2 shops ago, back at the cemetery shop, which was sick. You could look out the window and there was a cemetery. It was the most metal shit ever.
Very, very grim. And
it was awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was when it was unveiled. So I think there was a dual nature there. And I think, I really do mean it when I say, I think the Espada is everyone's favorite model at some point, even if it's just for a day, an hour, because it just has the thing. It has the sort I'm looking for, the proportions that are very difficult to design. We even had one of the coolest moments when we were at Guitar Summit last year, which, shout out Kai, stoked that you're going to be there this year.
Yeah, definitely gonna hang.
And there was another builder. He's a boutique custom builder from Greece. His name's Yannis Pavesas. If you haven't seen him, look him up. His builds are sick, and he's a golden human being. But he walked up while I was talking to Joe, because I told him I was going to be on the phone with him, and he was like, tell Joe I wish I designed that shape. And it was like, and this dude's a master builder. Like, he's sick. He's a super good dude. He knows what he's talking about. And he was like, that was a topic of conversation the whole time, was to design a shape that's actually unique and not so unique that half the people out there hate it, is like, I mean, you know, you deserve the credit. It's sick. And I think that's why it's everyone's favorite at some point for some period of time. I like it because, to me, and I think this is why a lot of people like it, is it really fuses everything. If you grew up playing classic guitars, this does that thing, scratches that part of your brain, itches that part of your feet, scratches your elbow. If you want the more modern thing, these can be spec'd out to be, you know, a 30-inch scale absolute destroyer of worlds.
Yeah.
And that's sick too. And there's just something about it that works. And I think that's killer. I think it's why a lot of people like it. And, you know, this one, for example, is a 27-inch. So is that one. And, you know, that one's obviously an ambient. This one's mine, which is, I'm playing my guitars today because we're talking about what we like, and I like these guitars.
Yeah.
It's got a mastery trim and some bare knuckle pickups in it, but
show them the side profile of the top.
Oh yeah, so this has a flame maple top on it, and it's insanely thick, and it is just an actual masterpiece. The roasted ash body with a thick maple top that still has the spoon contour, which is what I wanted. I'm being completely honest, this was an anniversary guitar for working for the company, so thank you, Mr. Balaguer.
Thank you.
And I went all in on it, and it is just, it's my B standard, you know, guitar that does the B standard thing, and I really like it. We should play these. I think we should play these.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, anyone who's been in a live stream knows that if we don't play for long enough, our speaker goes into standby mode. So I'm going to take that out of standby mode. I'm going to give you this to hold for 2 seconds. Y'all are all going to watch me walk like a weirdo. And then you can still hear me, though, even though you can't see me. Is that weird? I'm going to hit that button.
There's got to be a way to turn that standby thing off somehow.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how, and it's my least favorite feature about this thing. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
See if I can do this.
I guess for power conservation, it makes sense, but
well, the thing is, it's
in case
still
you leave it on,
it doesn't turn off. It's just like no more sound.
Interesting.
There we go.
All right.
All right. Yeah, let it rip.
So I went down to the push boy.
All right. Let's see. Not too bad. Woo. All right. Oh, yo, what's up? We have GTD in the house. Shout out to Guitar Tabs Daily. They
hey.
longtime friends who are also going to be dropping a review soon. So keep an eye out for that.
Yes.
Check out their YouTube channel. It's really great. Also, their other socials. All sorts of cool content. Damn, Jake just noodling over Joe's talking. Was I doing that?
I don't think so.
I didn't think so. You definitely heard it. Just some Jazzmaster players and add pickups behind the bridge specifically to amplify that ping. Yeah, it's true. Oh, and that's a good shout. Straight up, Mario. You'll notice, well, not on these guitars, but on the other two guitars we were playing, we both have those little, it used to be the hair tie or the anything like that. Those are, I think, the groove wraps or whatever. But it's specifically on certain guitars, you tend to get a lot of noise here. Yeah. And by putting something like this, so something that gets noisy, gets less noisy, guitar that pings a lot.
Yep.
Guitars with J-style trims are also famously noisy here. It's why you'll see a lot of people put like a piece of tape or a piece of foam right here. Yeah.
It's like nightmare fuel.
So yes, that's a thing. Good shout out though. Also, like a good mod, definitely worth messing around with. If you find that you have a lot of excess noise that is difficult to control, especially under gain, those are good ways to sort of mitigate that a little bit. That's why I have it on the 7-string, because I'm sloppy and I need that extra help. Otherwise, I'll just ring out because I have tiny hands and I am unskilled in the ways of playing the guitar. To keep it quiet, which is sick. Dylan says, formally requesting a limited run of Espadas with solid tops. Jake's Espada is so sick. Thank you. I agree. And I think we're probably going to keep that as a super custom option because it is very, very difficult to do.
Yeah, it requires a very thick top. You got to take
abnormally thick.
You got to take a decent amount of material off to get the spoon cut to where it needs to be. And
yes,
yeah, it's, you know, the thicker the top and the more figured and the thicker it is, the more expensive. So it's not very easy to scale a run like that.
And yeah, that's true. Also, apparently I was playing over you. Everyone is saying that my guitar was live and I didn't know it or something. That's wild. Oh, is it because, oh, I know why. It's because the monitor was off, but the signal was still live. So even though I had the volume up and was playing, we couldn't hear it, but the signal was coming through from the quad cortex. So it turns out I am a douchebag. Sorry about that. I didn't realize it's weird in the room. My bad. Thank you, everyone. I won't forget it now, though. Excuse me. Yeah, but it is sick. It's something we probably won't do for that reason. Actually, this is not the first. This is one of two that we've ever done that with. And shout out to our boy John Vocal in the chat who has the first one.
That's right.
His was a 7-string multi-scale with a solid burl, Buckeye burl top, right?
Not Buckeye burl. It's just maple burl.
Or maple.
It was either maple burl or poplar
burl.
It's one of those.
John will have to let us know. Sick build though.
Yep.
We get a lot of questions about that build still. So those have been the only two. It's something we do limited because of the cost and the labor. But you never know.
I think this is a good comparison, though, of this specific body shape, how it can be very classic, being like a flat top, double bound, semi-hollow guitar, baritone, 27-inch, and then also still classic, but a bit more premium looking with the full top, the burst, you know, humbuckers, solid body guitar. Yeah, so it's cool. And like Jake said before, we've done tons of Espada builds that are ultra modern with Evertune bridges and bare knuckle pickups and, you know, rustic black finishes and things like that.
Yeah, I would say as they're related, it's interesting that I think the Growler and the Espada are certainly two of the more popular choices for the super long, like 28.5, 30-inch scale builds, like the Mitch 6.
Yeah.
Anyone who's seen the Mitch 6 that we released, that we recently shipped out, that people have been putting videos up, including Kai and a couple of other guys, Chris
Sutton,
Chris over at High Impact Audio, and they're making their way. They're out in the wild now, but you know, Mitch wanted a 28.5-inch scale Espada.
Yep.
It just kind of depends on your style, and I think what works for you. And I think, you know, knowing that we've skipped, let's say, half the models in the catalog, nearly, I do think there's something. I think that's a good segue into sort of how we look at this, because you've talked about the design, you've talked about the idea and sort of where you pull inspiration for all of the guitars generally, but some specifically. And I think that that's an interesting observation, is that just like the Espada can be built this way or that way, or the Mitch Stark way, I think that's what makes that's the appeal, right? Is that you could take any of our models, whether they're the ones that are typically super modern or typically super vintage inspired, and make them whatever you want in between, where this is the same guitar, like they're even the same scale length. But if you put these up next to each other and you just took a first glance, you might not even know they were the same guitar. outside of the silhouette, which I'm happy to say is defining enough where you'd recognize it as an Espada. But to be able to do these things with the same model and have them both work, and know that you could also make it hyper modern, and know that that's something we can do with almost all of the models, works for me. I think it's a cool, obviously the tagline, right? Where, you know, vintage inspiration meets modern design, and that whole thing, I think it's proof that that's not just marketing bullshit. It's like actually
ethos.
It's actually the company ethos. It's what you do in your designs, and it's not just some like fake whatever. We're going to make an offset guitar because it's popular. I mean, you were doing that long before they blew up in the scene. Not to like make it about that, but I mean, credit where credit is due. Doing the offset thing was not something that a lot of people were doing, and shapes like the Espada that can be built out in so many different ways, I think fueled all of that, you know, fueled the fire.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, you look at models like our Astra model, which is a more classic styled single cut.
Right.
That still has an offset to it. It still can be designed or spec'd out in a modern way. Like we just did one recently for a guy that was just satin olive drab, one humbucker, really just like a rock and roll machine. But then we've done Astras where it's been more of a classic, you know, flame top, burst,
traditional two
block
volume, two tone
block inlays, side by side headstock. Same goes for like the Grace model, you know, double cutaway ES style body shape.
Shout out, Pat.
Yeah, but the silhouette is definitely different. It's our own silhouette. But we've had guys do like a flat top version of that where, you know, it doesn't have the full carved top or the arched back. And it's more of like a, you know, rock and roll type of guitar.
Right. Less of a jazz box.
Yeah, but then we have had people design it the opposite way where it's very fancy, arched top, arched back, full top, not a veneer. And yeah, I think that is applicable across the board for the most part. I mean, even, you know, if you guys are familiar with Jake's Ether, you know, our Flying A guitar, offset Flying A, whatever you want to call it. We've had people design that to where it's like super metal and shred your face off, but then we've had people like, you know, Maddie from the Callous Dowboys, one of our artists.
Maddie Caffrey.
Where it's more classic looking. It's got a, you know, humbucker single coil configuration.
Lavender, flat top.
Yeah, it's like super retro looking. It's super cool. It almost reminds me of like a 50s classic car or something.
Sure.
So yeah, that's, I think, what kind of makes us the most unique as a company and what we offer in our models overall. I feel like there's a lot of juxtaposition that happens.
Right. Which also means there's never a dull moment.
Yeah.
I think that's cool for us to selfishly as
while you're on the builder, just like trying every little configuration.
Yeah, it's just cool because it's fun, and then to see those things come to life, to see everyone's builds, to see the mock-up, the spec, confirm everything, put it in, and then when it shows up, that sort of, you know, to have a build like Maddie's sitting next to a build like Devin's, sitting next to something you might spec, or I might spec, or anyone might spec, or a monster growler like Haziel's, or an Oceanus. We saw a lot of people comment on the Oceanus, on the Gaia, on the Hyperion, or the Typhon, the Tartarus.
Yeah.
The more, whether more traditional or more modern, like X-shaped guitars that exist, that we do, that, you know, range from classic flat top machines to like bevel carved modern destroyers, and they're great. It's just that's why there's never a dull moment, is someone could do one or the other and not feel like they were missing out. You know, you don't have to sacrifice. You can really sort of have your cake and eat it too. It just makes it a lot of fun for us selfishly.
Yeah.
And it also, you know, it's a way of putting your custom print on like what you like. If you wanted a certain guitar and that guitar only came in one body wood and one scale length, but you wanted to tune it down to drop G, and you wanted it to have 7 strings, and you wanted it to be a baritone scale and have high output
Right.
pickups and be an ash body, like do it.
You can do it. Yeah.
Let it rip.
Yeah, I'd be curious what everyone in the chat, what their top 3 favorite models are.
Man,
Just
we've had a lot of comments.
Just kind of see where everyone's head's at.
Yeah, I'll scroll back a bit too. I feel like we've had so much to talk about that I haven't hit the chat quite as much as I usually do. But, you know, I already mentioned Kai saying the Espada is sick to look at, but the Growler is super comfortable. People building Espadas right now. Let's see. Deep design lore in the Espada. Good shout out, John. Might not have gone far back enough. Hyperions. We have people commenting on the Hyperion. People commenting on lots of comments on the Growler and the Espada. Kai says, will the Ambient Espada be at Guitar Summit? Would love to check it out. We may bring either this one or another one. So yes, I hope so.
We'll have at least one.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's the plan. So you will get to play it. But all of that stuff, I think, you know, the vibe is generally, but yeah, let us know if you haven't, let us know. De Vega says, got to be the Growler, Seraph, and a tie between the Hyperion and Oceanus.
Nice.
So that's cool. I like that, where you sort of see a through line, but span a couple of different models.
Mm-hmm.
That would be me for sure. You know, with like I would say my top 3 are probably, it's tough. I'm going to say the Espada. The Espada is definitely in there. Oh, that's so tough. I'm going to say the Espada, the Seraph, and the Ether, because right now I don't feel right saying Thicket yet until I get mine in and really solidify it. But I do think that I like the shapes that I think naturally sit in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, the Espada sits in the middle. It's not as modern as a Seraph necessarily, but it's also not as vintage as a Growler. I like that.
Sure.
You know, the Thicket is definitely offset, but not as traditional as a Woodman, not as modern as a Seraph. The Ether I love just because I'm a sucker for an offset V. A. I'm a sucker for that. I love the look. I love the feel. Especially mine. I've grown so used to it that like the balance is so great and all of that. That just as a playable guitar, it's hard to argue with.
Nice.
What about you, Joseph?
Oh, I can't pick a favorite child.
Yeah, you can.
No.
You can pick a top 3. What are your top 3 tied favorite children? And you can't say your actual kids. It has to be guitars.
I know. I mean, Espada, Thicket. Third one is kind of the floater, I think.
Okay,
where some weeks it's the Seraph, some weeks it's the Toro, some weeks it's the Grace. It really depends on like, we'll get select custom builds in that I'm just like, like I never would have thought of designing this guitar like this. Like someone just chose a really cool combination of wood and finish and pickup configuration and scale length. And I think that's one of the most exciting parts of the job for me, at least, is seeing how everyone, you know, translates their creativity of designing a guitar and like how it actually comes out. And I would say there's like 1 or 2 every shipment that I'm just like, man,
it's true.
It changes that third placeholder for me every now and again.
Yeah.
And
thankfully, you're not famously indecisive. Otherwise, it would be.
Yeah, only with gear, guys.
Infamously,
gear.
That's true. It is specifically with gear.
That's right.
Mario says, whenever I wander into the builder, I seem to find myself building a Diablo or a Thicket. Yeah, and those, I mean, I can see why. That's a good parallel. Yeah. Dylan says Seraph, Diablo, Espada.
Nice.
Yeah, can't go wrong. Kai says Growler, Seraph, Flat Grace specifically.
Okay.
That's sick. I do, and you had mentioned it earlier, and I'm glad you said it again, Kai, because I feel like the Grace, some of the flat, and Pat's losing his mind right now because he wanted us to talk about the Grace.
Yeah, where's Pat? Is Pat in here still?
He better be in here if he's not. But the flat top.
Now's your time.
Yeah, right. It's your time to shine. The difference between the flat top and the carved top and like what you can do with both to really push it in either direction.
Yeah. Very
cool. I would say underrated, not underappreciated, just underrated in general because it's such a cool spectrum. De Vega says, I got love for the Anomaly too. Shout out to Dark Matter. Shout out to DMI. Yeah, old
That's a deep
school.
cut. That's a deep cut.
That's a deep cut. And that's real cool. I'm also a big Anomaly fan. I think I'm not a big headless guitar person in general, just because I think because of my traditional nature. But the Anomaly, we have had some builds come through where I'm like,
I've seen it.
oh
You're like,
man,
you're tickled by it.
It makes me want to do. It makes me want to do something wild, like an 8-string or something that I'd play like once a month, but it would be exactly what I wanted every time.
Right.
Because they are so sick. And there is something cool. I'm a huge Alan Holdsworth fan. Him playing the Carvins back in the day, like that headless look.
Yeah.
You know, I associate it with that. And it is cool. I love the balance, the weight, the feel.
I just love it as like a writing tool. Like if you're just sitting on the couch and you're just noodling, or like you take it on vacation or something.
Right.
Like that's where I feel like headless guitars really shine for me.
Sure.
In that regard.
Mario says the Astra is also a fave, which is sick. Oh, Pat's in the chat. Okay,
Pat's
good.
in the chat.
Yo, good. He got it.
We were talking about the Grace.
GTD, my counterpart played the Espada this week. First time playing one of your guitars. Loved the design, feel, and tone. Such a sick guitar. Sweet, thanks, dude. And I'm stoked to see what all y'all do with it.
Yeah.
Because I was happy we could get one in y'all hands. Kai says we need a duality stream with the single coil thicket and an 8-string headless Tartarus. I kind of like that idea. You know what would be fun? True story. Maybe I'll bring in my Espada Standard. It's got the Austral set in it, and then you can play like something insanely heavy.
Sure.
That's a good idea, Kai. I'm gonna write that one down. We're gonna have to start paying you at some point. Haziel says Oceanus as well. Yeah, the Oceanus is one of those shapes that like I don't ever build one and think like, yeah, that's me. And then sort of like what you were saying, one will come in the shop and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Because while it isn't, I don't think it suits me. I see it and I'm like, yo, that's so sick. Yeah. It's for a certain kind of person, I think.
It's interesting how that happens because I do think like on paper, if you're designing something on a website, it's way different than seeing it in person and being like, you can sit down and play it and be like, oh man, like this actually, I like how it fits on my body and like I like how it sounds. And if you can get past how you look with it, you know.
I can't. I'm vain, Joe. Vanity is my middle name.
That's okay.
That's why John was pointing out my hair earlier.
Nice. I'm also growing out my hair, John, but I am not as brave as Jake. Because when I take my hat off, I look like Eric Foreman from that 70s show.
That's not
at his worst.
That's not totally untrue.
Yeah.
But we'll all get past that awkward stage.
I hope so. I'll just come in one day with a shaved head and Jake will be like, why?
Yeah, I'm in it for the last hurrah, you know? Haziel also says USA 8-string 30-inch scale with relic finish at some point, please.
Nice.
Maybe. Pat says I will die with that guitar in my hands. His Grace. Pat has an OG Grace that's really, really sick.
He has the first one. He has the first Grace DC before the body was made larger.
It's so sick.
Trying to think of a good way to say that.
Enlarged.
Yeah, no.
Engrossed.
Yeah, Pat's Grace DC is super cool. It also has like red tortoiseshell binding.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Which is super rad.
Yeah,
which is something I would like to add to the builder again at some point.
Me too.
But yeah, special guitar.
Kai says, I'm planning on dying in this Sanguimancy pit.
Nice.
Hell yeah. I'm right there with you. What a way to go. I'll literally just bloodlet myself on stage.
We should play some black metal on these guitars now.
Some black metal on these guitars?
Why not?
All right. Well, with that, I think we've hit a good point. Drop your questions if you've got any. Inflated, Dave says. No, I think we were trying to avoid words like that, actually. Yeah, because it's not that.
Inflation.
Yeah, inflation. We're going to riff a little bit. I think we've covered almost every model, at least in word, even if we didn't dedicate a whole bunch of time to it. Maybe we'll have to do a part 2.
Let me rattle them off real quick.
You think you could?
Yeah.
I'd be impressed.
Ether, Astra, Woodman, Thicket, Seraph, Tartarus, Anomaly, Vega, Espada, Growler, Hyperion, Oceanus, Gaia, Enigma.
I know the one you're missing.
Diablo.
Yeah.
Archetype.
Yeah. There's only one that you're missing, I think.
So
well, other than the basses. But I'll give you a pass.
Hold on.
You're a guitarist.
And you're not? Oh man. I'm missing one, aren't I?
You are. Yeah.
Asher DC.
There you go.
There we go.
All right. I think that's all of them.
Yeah, I think so. And then the basses.
Go
ahead, bassist.
Goliath, Monoceros, Druid, the Diablo bass, Enigma bass, Typhon bass, Anomaly bass. Or did we do the Anomaly and Vega basses. And then I think that's it. Oh, and the Fusion. I almost missed the Fusion.
What else?
Am I missing one? Oh, the Hyperion bass. Oh. That's right. I got the Typhon, and I was
both missed one, so we're tied.
Yeah, we're tied. Okay, let's make some noise. So, yes, Kai got it. He said Astro DC.
Boom.
Got to do the signatures now. Haziel says, "Oh, that's an easy one." That's an easy one. Yeah, it's the Woodman BB. It's the Thicket TM Travis. It's all of Devin's signatures: the Typhon, the Tartarus, and the Diablo. Yeah. It's the Enigma, Andy Williams, of course. The
Thicket FYS from Dan.
Thicket FYS from Dan. The Mitch 6. The Growler T-Bar, and the Espada, which used to be the Espada T-Bar, which was also super sick.
The Enigma AW, Andy Williams, X Every Time I Die. Toro AW.
Oh, that's right. He did the Toro AW. I did forget that one. I think that's all of them. If I'm forgetting something.
Well, there are some more, but can't talk about those.
There are some that are top secret right now. And I wouldn't call them signature models, but everyone has seen some sick builds that we've done for some really cool players that are,
out there playing.
You might think of 4 from Sleep Token. You might think of Pete from Chevelle. Recently posted about a select custom we built for him. Just super sick.
Yep.
Their new album rules, by the way. Go check it out. And we've done a bunch of cool stuff over the years. I mean, we built a pair of guitars for Jim Root. That was pretty sick.
Yeah. That was back in 2019?
Yeah.
2018?
Yep. Which was super cool. Yeah. Bunch of stuff like that. Just guys who were interested in the brand, that like it was a super chill affair.
Yeah. Amos from Taylor Swift.
Yeah, bass player. Yep. Amos, who was a super, by the way, he went viral after. I was bummed he wasn't playing our bass in this video because he went viral with a video that was like Taylor Swift's bassist plays Dream Theater. And dude,
or was it Metallica?
No, it was Dream Theater.
Or was it Dream Theater?
Yeah, and I think it was Panic Attack.
Okay.
Was it Panic Attack? It might have been something off of Awake. It might have been Caught in a Web or something like that. But I was blown away. Not that I didn't think he was a good bass player.
No, he's a metalhead.
But he's a metalhead, like legit. And it was so rad. But yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. And then of course, Fluff. We should mention Fluff.
Yeah. OG signature model.
Yep.
Hyperion.
So yeah, we've had the privilege, the honor, and the privilege of building some guitars and basses for some monster players.
Yeah.
I'm also happy to say that all of them have been really good people, which is always nice. Yeah. I like to think we attract good people, and they've all been really rad. Vexed Neon's Growlers, yeah. The Neon Growler and the Neon Tartarus.
John Klagholtz from Vexus.
From Vexus, yeah, so sick.
Yep.
But yeah, all good stuff, and all equally as awesome.
Yeah.
And you too can have your own select custom guitar built in the same place with the same love, the same attention to detail as all of these wonderful artists. And yeah, BalaguerGuitars.com. Do it.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Thanks for hanging.
We'll jam a little bit. I guess we're playing black metal and classic Espadas.
Yeah, Sanguimancy.
Yes, Sanguimancy. And then we're going to do it